Yes. That's a good one. I
For it to be a
think.
perfect game.
Well, there's three.
Story.
Okay, I got one.
Oh, what actual games are perfect games? We think are perfect.
No,
games?
what would you want to be a game? Like, what's your if you could make one game right now, what would it be? I think is what he's asking.
Earthbound.
So, that's a remake. You can't do remakes. So, what I would think would
Why
be
not?
a perfect game, and this would hit a lot of the boxes for me, would be to do something that crosses, like Sea of Thieves, which is one of my favorite games, with like really, really good Elder Scrolls graphics, like, like the next big title graphics, like just super good graphics wise. But instead of pirate, make it Viking. Make it all Norse stuff. Where you can go in and like raid villages and
Pretty sure that's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I haven't played it.
I'm pretty sure you do that because my dad's been playing that the past year or
But
so.
I was gonna say, like, then have like some sort of a crafting mechanic, like where you can actually like customize and build ships, and you can like build a base and kind of like.
Pretty sure you do that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I know
There's a game that's like that too that just came out recently or is about pirates or whatever. That's the whole point of the game was. It's a more real. It's not Sea of Thieves, but it's a more realistic Sea of Thieves.
No, honestly though, check out Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's a lot of what you're describing. It's in that game. You have ships and you command fleets, and you can like raid like villages and stuff, and it's pretty sick. My dad's been playing a lot of it. Chucko, there actually is a Pokemon MMO. It's called Poke MMO. It's actually pretty decent.
That's not official.
It's not an MMO though.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's no interaction between other people in the game aside from if you go into a multiplayer section and just like randomly multiplayer.
No, you can just run up to people and talk to people. We don't
You
want to do that.
can't do anything, dude. You see them on the map. That is it.
No,
Nothing
and then you
else.
go up and talk to them, and you can battle. That's how we did it. When we had that.
There's no.
weekend
That's
or
not
so.
interaction. That's not real interaction.
You're just mad because
It's nothing.
Trevor not beat you.
Well, it was really dumb. But no, but that's not an MMO. That's not an MMO. You don't work together with a massive multiplayer online. That's not. That's not an MMO. It's called Pokemon. No, it's not.
But no, it is a thing.
I think though, like I want something that's a multiplayer game like Sea of Thieves, that's Viking, that has super good graphics, like high quality, realistic graphics.
Yep, it's Valhalla. You're describing Valhalla. At least from
Without
what I've
the
With
comedy.
like
At least when I played Valhalla.
with like Minecraft crafting mechanics, stuff like that.
I think there is crafting. I don't think Minecraft level. But
where you can like go, customize everything exactly you want. You have to go get the
done.
materials. You have to do all that different stuff. Like that. That's kind of what I want.
Yeah. No, I think you should play Valhalla. I think that's kind of a lot of what you're describing.
It's hard for me to think of a dream game. I think it's all comes from story in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I can't just tell you a story that, part of that is it's got to be something unique and new, right?
Yep. Which
So I
is
can't
so
tell
hard
you,
to do nowadays.
And I don't mean it can't be, anything we've ever heard of at all, but I mean, it's got to be something unique. Aside from the story-driven content, which is I want it long. I love long games,
Yeah.
I want to grind a little bit. I love simulation games. I actually love simulation games.
Like
So
what ones?
Not just specific games in general, but just the idea of simulation. So even if you want to go to Stardew Valley,
Okay.
so that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing, where you create your whatever. In that game, it's like a farm, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
create your farm, and
Yep.
you go through that whole thing. Fire Emblem Three Houses has a simulation aspect of getting to know all the other students and everything, and teachers, and building rapport with them that adds to the game later on. So I like that aspect. I want a huge, massive, story-driven game that has that side stuff that's not a side thing,
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's really another part of the game that's huge too.
Yeah.
I like those
Gotcha.
two things being thrown together, and you don't see it much. One of the last games that really did anything, and it wasn't really simulation, but like Fallout 4, they did a super overhaul on the whole village, crafting type thing, right?
If that was implemented better, that would have been super cool.
Could have been cool. So I like that kind of stuff too. That's added on and made, a second or third, part of that game,
Yeah.
branch. I like that stuff. I have yet to see it done completely amazingly. It's been done really good. I have yet to see, it just checks every single box,
Yeah.
It gives you everything, the ability to do whatever you want, kind of the things that, hit it for me.
Yeah.
That would be a dream game, a perfect game for me.
See, I think the problem is it's so hard to
It's a lot.
to say
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's so hard to say this would be my one perfect dream game because you run into the issues where, you can, like what you were just saying, I liked it with Fallout 4, but that was terrible. So if they could fix that, how would they fix it to make it better? And then it's going to run into so many different issues. Like, it's so hard to say, this is going to be the perfect game because obviously what's perfect for you would be completely different. And
completely
that's
personal.
and I know, but
I think somebody's what he was asking, but
I'm a very easy to please person.
he's simplistic.
And so
we know.
Honestly, right now, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet might be, in my opinion, like a dream game, like open world.
That's not dream.
Not
traditional Pokemon game. But no, like if I had to think of one, honestly, a like anime, like JRPG. Like obviously there is that, but I'm talking.
That's
like
what a JRPG is.
I know.
I was going to say that.
No, that's true. I shouldn't phrase it like that. That doesn't make sense. But like a Bleach JRPG, or like I feel like a lot of like
something in the world
anime
of
games,
in the world of something.
Yeah, like I feel like the anime games we get now are just kind of like the 3D arena fighters, and I'm like they're cool, they can be fun, but I want something like a JRPG where you have a party, it's turn based. Like how awesome
that
would
would
it be?
my thing. All the new Final Fantasy stuff, like the graphics, all that stuff, turn based.
Yeah, but how you cannot tell me this would not be sick? A Bleach game that has its own story, its own world, or like it's the same world, but like it's a whole different kind of area or whatever. And you had a party where you could get Ichigo and Renji and all of these people in your party, and then like have these fights, like these turn-based battles. I think it'd be sick, and I wish they would experiment more with the anime genre of games because it's very just. Oh, hey, let's do another 3D arena fighter. And that's what I've heard good about the Demon Slayer game that just came out, is it's obviously one of those arena fighters, but it does more story stuff, and it does more kind of cooler things with how it handles the game.
They don't have the desire in Japan, really, for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which sucks.
They don't have the budget to do crazy stuff. Same with, like, movies they do, There's a certain, I don't know, level of garbage it is,
But like
they care about their actual anime, that's where they put all their money in, and then they care about actual games, but that aren't, just like the offshoots. So we'll just make this into a game,
Yeah.
So you don't see that a lot.
Which but like just thinking like a My Hero game would be sick, like even if it wasn't a JRPG too, like just something, maybe like an open world experience too, right? Like where you just take the main character and you're exploring this world, and it's not this 3D arena fighter combat, and it's actually like it feels good, and I just think there's a lot to be desired when it comes to anime games, and I like playing video games, and I like a lot of these worlds that I've been watching in anime, like Bleach and My Hero Academia and Fullmetal Alchemist and all these Tokyo Ghoul, and like I would love to play video games and be in that world and experience that from a video game perspective.
I think you'd have to be careful though, because like you said, some of the things you threw out there, like the open world or the just normal battle, you gotta be careful with, is this game gonna get boring quick? And that stuff really, that makes a good game when that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or where you finish it, it's a long game, what a story game or something like that. You finish it, you haven't been bored throughout it. You kept your attention.
Yeah.
And you feel complete, but also sad at the end because wow, I finished this game.
Yeah.
It's done. That makes a good game.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to be really careful, especially with some of that. We throw out the term open world. That's the whole thing now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make a good game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's some open world games that are just atrociously
I would
bad.
say a majority, I think, a slight majority of open world games, especially now, because it's like all the rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think are really, really mediocre.
I think a lot of it's just completely overdone, though.
It is overdone. It's the new thing. And since when did freaking Breath of the Wild like become the pinnacle of open world game? Oh, it's like Breath of the Wild. It's like a genre now. And I'm like, dude, there's been open world games that were fantastic way before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's true.
Were there really?
I think,
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
I feel like
It's
Elden
so
Ring's
dumb.
about. I feel like Elden Ring's about to take that though.
Well,
I
hate when people give those titles to games, and
I
it's
think-
usually stupid game reviewers in like magazine,
Which we
online
talked
magazine
about last
companies like we
week.
did.
Yeah,
So dumb. Oh, this is really. It's just like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Actually,
I'm
I
like,
think that was what went up on our YouTube today. So if you're
Yeah.
watching this live, if you go to our YouTube, the topic
it's
that
like
went up
Metroidvania
today,
or Souls,
we talked
you
about
know,
video game
Metroidvania
reviewers being
makes
out of touch.
sense, like
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a genre.
to an extent.
But-
you can't just throw everything into that just because it looks somewhat similar.
But it's the Metroidvania is the gameplay. It's that distinctive
I know.
2D
It's 2D platformer.
2D
It's quick-paced.
platformer that's like you explore this open world type thing.
Mhm.
No, I'd agree, but I get why they do that with Breath of the Wild. I think it definitely is overhyped and
It's
overdone.
way overhyped.
But Breath of the Wild did change a lot of the open world stuff. Like it didn't do the traditional.
I don't think
For
it
Nintendo,
changed.
it didn't change anything.
I don't think it
was
changed
new
a
for
thing.
Nintendo. That was it.
But see, I don't remember
looked
very many.
Fairly pretty. It was like cell shaded and stuff.
Yep.
We've seen that before. That's
Yeah.
nothing
Yep.
new. It was open world to an extent. We've seen that. It's nothing changed. Like it was just a Zelda.
But
it was
like-
new for Zelda and Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was
I
it.
feel like it changed how they did open worlds in a sense. Like
No.
I don't remember many open world games before that was like, oh hey, like here you are. There's like hardly any help showing you where to go, and you can do anything you want. And
Morrowind.
That's been a game. That's been a style
see,
forever.
I feel like Skyrim and like
no,
the
no,
Elder Scrolls.
Morrowind.
Morrowind.
Okay. Is
Where's
that
that?
That's the third one.
It's
that's
different?
the best one in my opinion, and that's completely different.
does it do that?
We talked about this last week.
Yeah, where
I
it just
said,
drops you in. There's no.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
You have a little journal that barely tells you anything.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I
And-
like that then. Okay.
Skyrim, like I said, we're too spoon-fed. Skyrim does that.
Zach, that's all open world games, Logan.
No, not really.
No, it's not.
I think
Elden Ring is not like that.
I think of Ubisoft, and I'm like, they're so handholdy, that mechanic.
Oh,
like, where it's like,
They're
oh,
terrible.
hey, here you are, this giant open world, but there's so many little dots in the map that you have to go complete these objectives, and it's like, is it really open world, or are you just giving me this false sense of it's open, but you're just telling me to go to all these points?
Yeah,
And
that's what a lot of games are.
yeah,
World-wise.
but like Elden Ring is completely open world.
Well, it's-
Like,
it gives you a general direction.
not really.
The
You
grace.
you hear like, okay, go.
I'm not saying it tells you exactly where to go, but
Yeah.
it gives you. It's something that's totally different than the rest of the Souls games.
Yeah.
As it gives you a direction that you need to go
I mean,
or should go. You don't
yeah.
have to go that
See,
way.
I'd argue that though, because like I feel like I'm at the point where like I just beat the first boss, and I have a good idea where I need to go, but there's so many places now. Like, okay, is this the next area or is this the next area? Like,
Well,
there's not
you
a,
can
like
choose.
yeah, like that's what I like about it. There's not like, oh, here's the first boss. Oh, here's the second boss. Here's the 3rd, and it's like,
That's a lot of open world games, though, too.
Yep.
yeah,
But there are games out there, and there have been for quite a while, that they let you explore. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't give you, like I said, the spoon-fed crap that we have been.
yeah.
Like,
It's I
sometimes
call it the
people
Ubisoft
wanna-
formula just because it's kind of like what Ubisoft is known
Yeah,
for.
but-
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
they're
been
open
around
world
before that too.
Yeah.
even, you know.
But they really overdo it. Like almost every
Oh,
open
yeah.
world game
Yeah,
they
they do.
have does the like checkpoints, the towers, the all of that crap. Which it's good. I mean, I don't hate that stuff, but I think it's kind of severely overdone when it comes to open world
some
games.
games you can turn that stuff off,
yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah, what's isn't Horizon? Can you do that in Horizon? Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember
Like,
when I
and there's
started
still
that.
some
still-
of that
yeah,
stuff, but
it's-
it makes it more immersive. If
Yeah,
you don't.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to play that way, you don't have to. Like, if
Yeah.
you just want, like, I would just want to, casually do this and not have to work, like,
Yeah.
grind and find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's
See,
fine.
and that's always cool,
That's
too.
fine, but you can
Yeah.
choose. You can pick and choose whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
And man, Morrowind is great. Remake that game, please. Remake it and don't change it too much.
That's what that fan made thing is, though, too. Skywind. that they've been working
in
on.
a mod. It's a
That
mod.
yeah, but I mean that's essentially what it is though. Is they're remaking Morrowind like piece by piece
And a
in
bigger and better
Skyrim.
engine. Well, it is a better engine, but it's the same engine.
It's still not good though.
No.
Like
Man,
I love
do
Skyrim.
away
It
with
is
the creation engine.
I love Skyrim.
Which they
You know,
should
it's my
be-
favorite.
they
Well,
should have a new one, right?
it's the creation engine 2. So it is a new one.
Yeah.
They just
Is Starfield on that?
I
yes.
think so, yeah.
Piece of wasn't
Starfield
originally.
Starfield is the first game on it.
That's good.
Yep. And
good.
which I'm super glad about because all that means is that it's going to be Starfield is the first one. Then whatever bugs and whatever kinks they have, they're going to work out. And that means the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on there and they're going to
That's
have that
20
stuff.
years down the line anyway.
Shut up.
that
Do
is
not say 20 years.
It's
I'm
gonna be a long.
I am
Well,
saying 2024.
Supposed to be Starfield's November 2022.
Yeah, but I still don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out.
So-
I think it's going to be in 2 years. They're going to give Starfield 2 years and then
well, yeah,
it's
but they
gonna
gotta
be,
announce it, and then they gotta wait a year, and then they gotta give you a gameplay trailer, and then they gotta wait a year.
which is why I'm saying they're going to do it. They've already announced it.
2025.
They
No,
have
it's going to be
announced it.
2024.
They
They've
have
already
announced
announced it, which means in
But it's gonna
2023.
get moved back, you know
No,
this,
hold
right?
on. Hold on. So that means in 2023, it is going to be reveal
That's
gameplay
true, right.
trailer or whatever. They're going to talk about it more. And then 2024, they're going to be like, hey, now this is when it's going to come out. It's going to come out in November 2024. Let me have this. This is my one just little sliver of joy that I
Who
have.
knows? I don't know what they're gonna do.
What if Elder Scrolls 6
I don't know how Bethesda would handle it. You know,
Skyrim or
Zach, but
Elder Scrolls version of Fallout 76?
you could
It's
do a
just
remake.
terrible
I'd be totally down with a
No.
remake, Zach.
multiplayer game.
Or a
No.
remaster, not a remake, remaster. But the thing is, I don't think you could remaster that game without. You would have to
You couldn't just do
revamp it
you
totally
couldn't just do a
graphically.
graphical update.
No, you need to do a lot.
You'd have to do a lot.
Especially since, like,
Textures or whatever.
Now with Bethesda games, a lot of it is everyone's fully voice acted. With that game, there's like maybe 3 people that were voice acted. Like a lot of it's just you talk to them, it's just text. Like
they did voice, but it was like just random voice. Like the actual text came in a text box.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, who are you? How are you doing? That way it would like show up, and then they'd have the text box at the bottom, and you go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that they would have to redo for sure. They would have to completely like remaster, not even remaster, like you said. It almost would have to be a
Graphical remake, remaster, or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. You'd have to do a lot of work for that.
Yeah, and that's why they won't do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't care.
No,
Yeah.
they
not
really
not
don't.
enough to do something like that.
Yeah.
I wish they did.
Man, such a good game.
Yeah.
I wish they cared enough, but yeah, they don't. But we should probably call it here.
Comment on
It's 8:30.
Zach's last thing here. I do think it's still coming this year. I think late, either November or December.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think Breath
I
of the
don't know,
Wild
man.
2 is gonna. I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is ever gonna come out at this point.
I think it's definitely coming out.
I don't know. I feel like at this point,
Early next year, maybe.
maybe and hopefully, but we should probably call this because it is
Yeah,
8:30.
I'm down.
So, thank you so much for hanging out for episode 37 of Uncalled For, where every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time we get together and talk about random stuff.
Sometimes we have
And-
topics. Sometimes we ask from the chat. Thanks, Zach.
Yep.
Yeah,
Zach.
because we are very ill prepared. We have a week to
I mean,
come
I
up
had
with
my
topics.
topic.
And